Hey guys, what's going on today? It's your boy Dilo, Silo, and Joy, and today we're here with Platform LV.
And today we have on Cody, guitarist for
DDendylHoyt.
DDendylHoyt.
Hello,
Hey Ddendyl, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
my name is DDendylHoyt. I'm a country artist. I like long walks on the beach. I drink wine. No, really. I am a musician, singer-songwriter. I've been doing this for a really long time. It's the love of my life, you know?
So what actually got you into singing in the first place? Like, overall, like, what made you wake up and be like, all right, I want to do this? What made you do that?
So, I started really young. My dad was really my dad was really into music. He played like 30-40 instruments, and he one day really just noticed that I could sing and that I was good at it, and so he kind of nurtured that gift in me, and then ended up getting me a really great vocal coach when I was around 9-10. And so I studied opera for 10 years, and so that was my background, was opera music. I also played the violin and the oboe.
As a kid, you were doing opera?
As a kid,
okay.
Yep. I played the violin and the oboe. Not the coolest instrument to play, you know, the oboe. Like, what do you play? I play the oboe. Yeah, the violin was cool. So I grew up in a musical home. Really, just, you know, like I said, my parents were just really. They were just really great at nurturing this gift I had, this musical inclination. And so fast forward a few years, I, gave up opera, gave up the oboe. Thank God.
That must have been tough to say.
No offense to
Very
the
tough,
oboe
very
players out
tough.
there. I love y'all. You're just talented people. It just wasn't for me. It was not my jam. But the piano, which if you guys know anything about my music, it's kind of a constant in my music, and I do a lot of shows here in town, just me and the piano, and I ended up teaching myself that instrument, used the knowledge that I have of violin, oboe, and voice, and just did what I could do with making myself a good piano player, as good as I could be, and now that's my focus is piano and country music.
So I have two for you on what you had just told us. One is more of a personal one because I do have young kids, and obviously being in the music industry, I hope that they're gonna follow that footsteps. I'm trying not to push it.
Okay, that's not where I thought that was going. I was like, he's about to tell me not to cuss.
no, say what you want.
I've got young kids.
They are on the iPad. They're on the iPad, so they'll be fine. But yeah, so I mean, I hope that they follow in the footsteps of whether it's picking up an instrument, whether it's writing their own songs, or just being in the environment. That'd be cool.
See, I want my son to be like a lawyer or a doctor or a professional golfer. It would make me no more happier to have him go, yeah, that's not for me, Dad.
So my thing is like, when I first got into it, I was always like, man, I'm going to have this dope studio. It's going to be this and that. And when I finally got it, I'm at a point where, okay, I gained a little weight. I'm kind of being a little bit lazy on the artistry side. Do I really want to put in the work to actually, get back into that zone? And then now I have a family with, I got my little ones. So then as an artist, you're always on tour, you're always on the road. Mm-hmm. So it's like I have all this stuff now, and I don't want a bunch of strangers coming to my setup. Hopefully my kids benefit from it.
All right.
So strangers are cool.
Oh,
You're gonna
okay.
meet strangers regardless. At least it's controlled strangers.
Are cool.
So if you can remember that far back, when it was introduced to you by your father, when he was like, obviously he didn't say, hey, play this oboe. Like, or
I mean, it kind of was like that. With my voice, it kind of was. It was.
So it's like, hey, put your mouth on this.
No, literally, it was. We had this like old organ in our house, and my dad was like, and I remember it was nighttime because for some reason the lights didn't work in that room, so it was like the organ light and the light from the living room, and he was like, hey, come here. Hit this note. And he more or less went up and down the piano or the organ keys, and he was like, you definitely have a gift. You can sing really high and really low. That has changed over the years.
Couple years.
Yeah. I mean, it was only yesterday that I was like 5 years.
I was thinking about that 3 days ago.
Like
yeah,
3 days ago.
13 years ago.
Yeah, your voice changes, and when I left the world of opera, I ended up, my voice changed a lot because your voice is a muscle and you get used to different things. And with, focusing on country and blues, my voice got deeper, got a little more gravel to it, and I lost some of those really top, Mariah type notes. But that's okay because it's not really relevant in my music.
So what was it for you? Like, everyone has that. Was it this album? Was it the environment? Was it the area I lived in that made it? Because obviously opera to country is, that's a change.
I think it was a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess why does a doctor become a doctor? They want to save people's life.
Yeah, sure.
But not. But maybe it's because their dad was a doctor. Who knows? I think it's a little bit of everything for for everyone in any career. Where I come from was a big factor. Where I came from was there was a heavy influence in country music. Like I was that kid who knew who Johnny Cash was, but not necessarily Tupac. So like
I knew Tupac.
That was what I was. Given to listen to the oldies, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Elvis Presley, and then gospel music, lots and lots of gospel music. So, when it came to other genres of music, I wasn't as educated as I should have. I should have been as an aspiring musician. But it was just like I said, it was just kind of where I grew up and the influence of my family, very conservative family. The other factor was it just made me happy. Like, singing and playing the piano and writing my own songs was a source of joy for me. So at first it wasn't necessarily about, how am I going to make money doing this?
Yeah.
As I got older and wanted some things like a car, it was like, how am I going to make money doing this?
How do I live my dreams and eat?
And eat. So there was a couple years where ramen was a real thing.
She's all right.
A couple.
Ramen, some hot sauce. I mean, that was dinner. That was lunch. That was
That's every
breakfast.
Wednesday and Saturday.
You know what I mean? So
there needs to be a musician's cookbook on how you flavor ramen noodles to not get tired of it.
That's right.
It's a thing.
So am I the only one who ever ate it dry? You crunch it up?
Yes.
See, that's
you
weird,
never ate
bro.
it dry?
That's weird.
Okay.
That's
That
should be illegal right now.
I
I feel like
It's
that's
not bad. I mean,
that's
maybe it might be now, but it's on the go ramen. Like, you think ramen is cooked 3 minutes?
No.
Sometimes you don't have that long.
Yeah.
Usually it's 5 minutes.
Oh, back to the original question, being an adult and stuff. Reba was a huge influence to me. My vocal coach, My vocal coach took me to go see Reba McEntire. It was my first, big concert, and she came out on stage, and I had only, heard a few albums, and I knew a few songs, but I was little. I was literally like, 10, and she came out on stage, and I stood up on my folding chair and I shouted, "Oh my God, she's real!" And I think so. Like I said, I think a little bit of everything, contributed to the artist I am, and where I wanted my music to go and what I wanted to do with music. Because not everybody wants to be a main stage artist.
Yeah.
Some people they live for the coffee houses and they just want to be, that person with the guitar that's just singing some sad songs for an hour, and that's
Cody.
their.
Speaking of Cody, how did you
That's what they like.
coffee house?
And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. So, but for me, I want to reach as many people as I can. I want to, not just write for myself, but write for the great musicians that we have today. Whoops, woo.
So on a professional level,
I am not drunk.
If you have to say you're not drunk,
You're drunk.
we didn't bring it up.
and then there's the when you're really drunk, you're like, I'm drunk.
Okay, I'm drunk.
Excuse me. Yeah.
So this is actually one for both of you guys. On a professional side of the music, when you first got, whether it was $10 from it or $100. Because I can still remember the time when I got my first paycheck from doing anything music related. I texted my wife, who was my girlfriend, and I was like, I think I'm a professional now, because isn't that technically what makes you a professional, getting paid?
Yeah.
And I wrote this long Facebook post, and I was in my car,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I was crying,
How much
but
was it?
the allergies were acting up closer that time, and the whole ride home, it was feel good songs. So.
He's crying. Okay.
So I was like, when did you just have that moment? When, okay, this is what I can pay the bills off of this. I can pursue this. This is potentially, a dream that can be accomplished.
Cody, you take that. I'm going to think about it for a minute.
This would be 2 parts. So the first paycheck I ever got from playing music came when I was in the 10th grade. We got 3rd place. My band, who oddly enough, the drummer in that band that I've known since 1999, 20 years, grew up with, played in almost every project that I've ever done. We had a band in high school. We did in 10th grade. We played the high school talent show, and we got 3rd place, which was $50. Because as talent shows go, it's the senior wins every year.
Yeah.
Which we won our senior year, which was cool. But that was the first time I ever got money from playing music, And
there was always one guy who was
three people split $50 or whatever.
Wait, so back then, $50 was popping. It was
You know how much ramen $50 buys?
Yeah.
$50
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It solidified the weekend's party materials. That's exactly where the money went towards Coors Light and other stuff.
A Colt 45.
Beer money. That's
Beer money. All right. Literally, but that was exactly where that went. And then I remember, and it was the first gig. We had been playing in a band since we were since freshmen in high school. I had a band in middle school. He had a band in middle school. We had this band that formed in high school when we were freshmen. And it took us all we did was practice every single weekend. We tried booking a gig when the summer or the spring break of when we were in freshmen in high school. And we booked a gig, we had a gig, and we spent spring break learning 35 songs so we could go play this gig at a bar. And the bar didn't realize that we were kids and underage, and we show up to the first gig that we're supposed to have, and they wouldn't let us play because we were kids. And he went and talked to. I remember we went and talked to him, and everything was fine until we showed up, and they wouldn't let us play. So we didn't get to actually do that gig. So we spent year and a half just practicing every single weekend, and we wrote songs. And when we played, we played one of the second song that me and him had ever written together. I remember everything about it was Pull the Shades was the name of the song. That me and him wrote. It was the second song we'd ever written. We wrote it on an acoustic guitar in his garage, and we performed an original song, got 3rd place. And that was the first time we ever made.
Was it always the guitar? Was there ever let me try singing first?
No,
and that didn't work out.
Guitar,
okay.
I remember thinking as a kid, I was I don't know why anyone would want to play anything other than a guitar.
So then, what about you?
What was the question?
When you first made money.
When you first made money.
What is your opinion on Cody's childhood? So that moment when you made that decision, okay, this is not just fun anymore. I'm not just better than everyone else around me, or whatever the mind state was. When you got that first, whether, I said, it was $5, $100, that, okay, I'm going to pursue this and actually try to make a living off it. What was that?
Right. Okay, so when I was young, I won some competitions, and with competitions usually comes a little paycheck, $50, $100, something like that.
Was it beer money?
And I was 10.
I
was in 10th grade. I mean, he was mad course. Like, what was it course?
So
I wasn't much older than 10 when it was still beer money, unfortunately.
So I remember my parents saying, "Oh, now you're a professional because you made some money." But I never really looked at it like that. I don't know. I've been accused of this, of being too focused and all business. And I think that in my my journey to become not just a full-time musician, but a successful musician. And first, my manager always says this: you have to define your version of success. Some people are totally good with those coffee house gigs, and that's all they want to do, and that's what makes them happy, and that's literally that's their heart song, and that's who they are.
Right.
For me, my journey is nowhere near done. I haven't, like you had that moment where you were like, I'm not professional. And don't get me wrong, I'm not just a professional musician. I, by many standards, am a successful musician. I don't just pay my rent. I'm doing well. I'm very grateful and very, very blessed for the opportunities that I've had as a musician. The last 2 years have been really good to me. But I'm not where I want to be quite yet.
Yeah.
And and so I think for me, I haven't had that I've arrived moment yet. I haven't had that, where I'm looking at a paycheck and I'm like, this is it. I'm here, And for me, I don't really know if it's a number amount.
Yeah.
I think that for me since I was little, I've had this, when I made that decision that, I want to be a singer. I want to do what Reba's doing on stage. I've had this vision of, me in an arena with, the runways that come out of the stage.
Out of the stage,
yes.
Into the audience.
And I'm in a sparkly dress. Sparkly.
Oh, so you fancy. Okay, fancy. All right.
Fancy.
Yeah, you
But
my cowboy boots, yes.
Cowboy boots, sparkly dress.
But I have this vision of what, that moment looks like for me. And it's not a dollar amount. It's not a, bank account. It's not a, 3 cars and a house amount. It's that moment where I am not just singing for a couple people. That's great.
Yeah.
200,000 people would be greater.
But
So in my head, I see this moment where I'm on this runway and I'm singing my songs, and people are there to hear my music because it has touched them, it's reached them. Even if it's a fun song, it's a song that they relate to because they have fun while they're listening to my song. And so once I'm there, I'll let you know. We can do this all over again.
Sounds
And
good.
I'll let you know when that moment is.
Where I come from is who I am. My roots run deep. Here alone that I stand. Everyone knows your name, and your mama's too. And they're all real proud of whatever you do. From the fields that I danced in to the Tennessee, the hills rolling by me, I wish I was so free. The grass in my toes, the corn growing rose, my heart will stay here wherever I go. And I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I've been, and I'll do anything to get there again. I'll find my way back if it takes all I have. 'Cause where I come from, no, it ain't too bad.
We want to say thank you for you guys being on our
Thanks
show.
for having us.
Platform LV. We'll be putting your guys' handles for social medias
Awesome.
and where they can find the tickets and the dates. And we are giving away those tickets for your show coming up. Appreciate it, guys. Love
Nice.
and keep
Thank
making
you.
music.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.